Welcome to the semifinal rounds of the Texaco Star Academic Challenge. We started with 48 high school teams throughout Westchester and Fairfield counties. Now we're down to the final four. And we meet New Rochelle and Irvington in the first of our semifinal matches. The winning team today is assured of no less than $12,500 in Texaco Foundation scholarships. Players, this sound, as you know, means you're right. This tone means your answer is ruled unacceptable. And this sound, the end of each quarter. Good luck to both schools. Your first question is this, a five-pointer. What term taken from a series of medieval wars has come to mean a major effort for an idea?
Irvington, Joe.
Crusade.
Crusade is right, and Joe gets Irvington on the board first. For 10 points, what did John Naisbitt describe as world...
Irvington Key.
Basketball.
You're thinking of Naismith, inventor of basketball. What did John Naisbitt describe as world tendencies with such great impact that they transform the lives of whole populations? New Rochelle. Anybody in the audience know? Megatrends is right. For 5 points, what is the only method the Surgeon General of the United States officially approved to save a choking victim?
Rochelle Gabriel.
The Heimlich maneuver.
It is the Heimlich maneuver. 5 points, and New Rochelle's now on the board. For 10 points, I have a math question. What is the sum of the exterior angles of a 19-sided polygon? The sum of the exterior angles of a 19-sided polygon.
Irvington Emily.
3,060.
No, that's incorrect. New Rochelle, can you take it?
Rochelle Gabriel.
360.
360 is right for 10 points. Mike Mastandry, isn't it 360 for any polygon? Okay. A 10-point visual question. Look at your screen, please. First, look at this musical score. Now the clue. Name the popular French group dance found in the title of the musical piece from which these measures were taken.
Irvington Key.
The can-can.
Can is right, Keith. For 5 points, the following was taken from what part of a book? To William Tenn and Philip Klass?
Irvington David.
Dedication.
Each in his own way is right for 5 points. Here's a 5-pointer. A 1994 bill excludes Native Americans from drug prosecution for using the mescaline-containing peyote plant in their religious rites. Peyote is what type of plant?
Irvington David.
A cactus.
Cactus is right for 5 points. A 10-pointer. What missing person was last seen at the Manchew's Red Fox restaurant?
Irvington Key.
Elvis.
Not Elvis Presley. New Rochelle.
Rochelle Gabriel.
Jimmy Hoffa.
Jimmy Hoffa is right. I have a multiple choice question now for 10 points. Which one of the following 5 things could Charles Darwin not have done in his lifetime? A, read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. B, traveled through the Suez Canal. C,
Irvington Joe.
B.
no, he could have done that. C, discussed animal classification with Carolus Linnaeus. D, read the Communist Manifesto by Marx and Engels. Or E, seen a passenger pigeon. Which of those, New Rochelle, could Charles Darwin not have done in his lifetime?
New Rochelle Gabriel.
E.
No, C, he couldn't have discussed animal classification with Linnaeus, who lived during a previous century. For 5 points, I have a music question. Universal Pictures announced that by 1997, it will be a full-length animated feature film. Listen to name this musical stage play by Lloyd Webber.
And we all...
Irvington Key.
Cats.
Cats is right. For 10 points, what is the collective chemical name for compounds in the ocean, such as magnesium chloride, calcium sulfate?
New Rochelle Gabriel.
Salts.
They're called salts, and calcium carbonate finishes the question. For 5 points, identify the first American rocket gun put into service in 1942.
Irvington Joe.
The bazooka.
Bazooka is right. Joe puts Irvington back in the lead. I have a 10-point math question. Points P and Q are on a circle. 2 different arcs can be drawn on the circle that connect these points. What adjective describes the arc that is
New Rochelle, Gabriel.
The larger arc is the major arc. The smaller one is the minor.
that is less than a semicircle? Irvington.
Irvington, Joe.
Minor.
Minor arc is right. For 5 points, of what U.S. state is the Sitka spruce the official state tree? The Sitka spruce.
Irvington, David.
Washington.
Not Washington. New Rochelle?
Wilhelm.
Oregon.
We thought Sitka would give you Alaska. For 10 points, I have a visual question. Look at your screen. Name the company associated with this.
New Rochelle, Missy.
Merrill Lynch.
That's the company of that advertising bull, yes. Whoever racks their brains to answer this wretched question is entitled to a whole 5 points. Identify the silent consonant used 4 times in this question.
Irvington, David.
W-R.
New Rochelle, the silent consonant.
New Rochelle, Missy.
W.
Is W, yes. Good for 5 points. There's the tone. That's the end of the first quarter. We'll be back to meet the players and resume play in the bonus round after you watch this.
By the time I was 7, I was already getting high. When I was 13, I was stealing to get drugs. I used PCP, paint thinner, glue, anything to get me high.
But Dan got help at a drug treatment program. They got help from United Way. All because United Way got help from you.
Today I'm back in school and I have a real future. Thanks for giving me another chance.
United Way. Helping where help is needed most.
Thanks for staying with us. The New Rochelle-Irvington game continues. A close, high-scoring game was expected. It's 50-50. Now let's meet the players. First of all, from New Rochelle, Gabriel Suboyama is the captain, a junior whose interests lie in Latin and history. He's also a member of the school orchestra, and he plays the viola. Next is Wilhelm Orzo, a junior, a French horn player who enjoys Wordsworth, T.S. Eliot, and Ferlinghetti. He's going with his soccer team to compete in the Haarlem Cup in Holland. He trains every morning on equipment especially designed to keep him silly. Missy Langsam, a junior who plans to be the country's first female president, believes that the Beatles are the best philosophers who ever lived. And Ron Neil Griffith is a junior. He's on the math team and a member of the Science Olympiad squad. Their alternates for this match, Bernard Yu and Morgan Marks. Their coach is Amy Fox. That's the team from New Rochelle. New Rochelle has already won a tournament to qualify for the National Academic Championship, as has Irvington. Now let's meet them. Their captain is Emily Gold, a senior. She was just named valedictorian. This is her 2nd year on the team. She's editor of the literary magazine, plays varsity tennis, is a volunteer tutor, and she will be attending Yale University. Next to her is David Brazil, a junior, minister in the Universal Life Church mail order. Enjoys poetry and literature, especially science fiction. He has 2 works for role-playing games pending publication and has a short story accepted to a literary journal. Joe Edelman is a freshman. Joe enjoys music, plays tenor sax and clarinet in the band, and jazz ensemble. He sings in the men's ensemble. He wishes to be president one day. And Keith Berman is a junior. He plays baritone horn. He's an all-area, or rather an area all-state musician, in fact. Varsity soccer and tennis player as well. And their alternates, Hugh Ryan and Greg Wong. Their coach, Michelle Sella. That's the team from Irvington High School. Our judge for the academic challenge is none other than Mike Mastandria from Dallas, who is also the chief judge for the National Academic Championship, which will be held this June in Dallas and Washington. Our official scorer from Texaco is Lydia Anderson, and our tournament directors, Joan Gilbert and Sue Aubrey of Community Relations. Their decisions are final. Okay. Players, we've got bonus opportunities for you. Here's your first toss-up in the bonus round. It's worth 10 points. Which fruit, often called the peach of the tropics, or the king of tropical fruits, is a mainstay of the tropical diet and grows on time?
New Rochelle, Gabriel.
Mango?
Mango is right for 10 points. Well done, Gabriel. And so, the team of Gabriel, Wilhelm, Missy, and Ron will huddle together on the SS bonus. We'll define, or we'll give you definitions that lead to two-word answers, both parts of which begin with the letter S. For 5 points, white crystal and salt, Na2SO4.
Sodium sulfate.
That is correct. For 10 points, name for the day of the year having the longest period of sunlight.
Summer solstice.
Right you are. For 15 points, two polyhedra having the same shape but not necessarily the same size.
Similar squares.
No, can you take it, Irvington?
Your answer?
Similar shapes?
No, they are similar solids. No score there. Here's another 10-point toss-up. New Orleans is bounded on the south by the Mississippi River, along with its suburbs. Which body of water marks its northern?
Irvington, Joe.
Lake Pontchartrain.
Lake Pontchartrain on the north is right. So Emily, David, Joe, and Keith from Irvington, that brain trust will be conferring on the Spanish bonus. For 5 points, in Spanish, what colors are rojo, blanca, and azul?
Red, white, and blue.
Right. Well, they get harder. For 10 points, translate the Spanish epitaph from the grave of Billy the Kid. Duerme bien.
Sleep well.
Sleep well. For 15 points, las cosas van de mal en peor. Means things are going how? Las cosas van de mal en peor.
Worse.
New Rochelle?
Bad to worse.
From bad to worse is right. And that's the complete answer we needed. Okay, 15 apiece on that bonus. Now a 10-point toss-up from the Bible. Jesus started his ministry after being baptized. How long did his ministry last?
Irvington, Joe.
3 years.
3 years is correct for 10 points. Okay, Irvington will try to take the lead now based on their knowledge of gypsum. For 5 points, gypsum is a hydrous calcium sulfate. What does hydrous mean?
It contains water.
That is correct. For 10 points, where would you travel to see gypsum sand dunes, specifically?
California.
Not California, New Rochelle. Do you know?
Say something wrong.
Your answer?
Egypt.
Well, you go to White Sands National Monument in New Mexico. Okay, we have a 10-point musical toss-up. Identify this music as a Rossini overture, a Mahler symphony, a Mozart concerto, a Strauss waltz, or a Sousa march. Listen. Both items in your answer.
New Rochelle, Wilhelm.
A Rossini overture.
A Rossini overture is right. Specifically, the overture to La Gazzaladra, the thieving magpie. Okay, New Rochelle, nations bonus. Letters have been removed from the middle name of a country. Restore the name. For instance, if I said end for, your answer would be England. The number of missing letters is provided. Okay? You will have 5 seconds on the first one, 10 seconds on the second one, so forth. For 5 points, find 3. You have 5
Finland.
seconds. They only needed 1 second to think about that one. For 10 points, sin 2. You have 10 seconds.
Spain.
Spain is right. Missy knew that one. For 15 points, pan 5.
Paraguay. Oh.
Not Paraguay. Irvington, you'll get 15 points.
Pakistan.
Pakistan is correct. There's the tone. We're out of time in the first half. It's a close game. When we come back, we'll play 60 seconds and these category choices. Starts with A. A date with death. Art history and the mystery categories. Stay where you are.
In a world of uncertainty, there will always be a need for those proud few who can prove they are a world apart. Maybe you can be one of us, the few, the proud, the Marines.
Questions used on the Academic Challenge are provided by Questions Unlimited of Columbus, Ohio, America's largest supplier of questions and answers for academic competition. What a match! Look at that. 105 Irvington, 115 New Rochelle. It's 60 seconds round time, players. That means you make a selection, then we'll give you 60 seconds to answer as many 10-pointers as you can. When time has expired, that's it. The second team may take a shot at any questions the first team misses. If you get them all right, we'll give you a 20-point bonus. Irvington, you're trailing at this point, so you get the first choice. What'll it be?
Starts with A.
Starts with A for Irvington. Start the clock. Here we go. All answers to these short and sweet clues start with the letter A. 43,560 square feet.
Acre.
Ordering dinner items, not whole dinners.
A la carte.
First victim.
Pass.
The machine that makes Arizona bearable.
Air conditioning.
Yes. Snooze control.
Alarm. Alarm clock.
Yes. Boring book of photographic recollections.
Album.
Huey Long is to Louisiana as George Wallace is to
Alabama.
acceptable shortened word form.
Abbreviation.
Sidewalk shop shader.
Awning.
And finally, basic polka instrumentation.
Accordion.
Is right. That's 90 points for Irvington on Starts with A. Okay, New Rochelle, a possible 10. First victim.
Your answer?
The first victim, audience, was Abel. Yes. Okay. New Rochelle, what's your pleasure? A date with death, art history, or the mystery category?
The mystery category.
The mystery category is untitled, New Rochelle. It will be helpful if you keep track of the answers, because if we get to question 10, you might need to put it all together. For mystery, start the clock. Here we go. What do you need to play whist, canasta, and euchre?
4 people.
An aspirin a day and a glass of red wine a day are habits thought to be good for what organ?
The heart.
What kind of novels do Barbara Cartland and Danielle Steele specialize in?
Romance.
Presidents born in this month include William Henry Harrison, Ronald Reagan, George Washington, and Abraham Lincoln.
February.
In the names of great church buildings, what word precedes Mark's, John's, Patrick's, and Peter's?
Saint.
Halloween, Easter, and Christmas are 3 of the 4 biggest selling days for what gift? Halloween, Easter, and Christmas.
Costumes.
The parade that takes place in Pasadena, California.
Rose Bowl.
The day honoring Martin Luther King Jr. is our newest federal.
Holiday.
Greater blank hath no man than this, that a man laid down his life for his friends. Fill in the blank. Greater blank hath no man than this.
Love.
Yes, now solve the mystery of the mystery category. Tell me what subject all these answers. Okay, and they didn't get a chance to answer. It's your turn, Irvington, now on these. What do you need to play whist, canasta, or euchre?
Cards.
Cards is right. Halloween, Easter, and Christmas are 3 of the 4 biggest selling days for what gift?
Candy.
Of course. And the parade that takes place in Pasadena, California every New Year's Day is called the Tournament of
The Roses.
Roses, and that's the answer we needed. Now, can you solve the mystery of the mystery category?
St. Valentine's Day.
They all relate to St. Valentine's Day is right. That closes the book, an advantage for Irvington in this 60 seconds round, which has now come to an end. Stay with us. We'll play the photo finish, 4th quarter. Stump the experts in just a moment. 175 for New Rochelle, 235 for Irvington. We'll have a series of rapid-fire, stump-the-expert-style questions until we run out of time. Good luck to both teams. Winner goes on to the finals. Here's a 20-point art question. The theft in 1978 of this work was the first ever from the Pitti Palace, a Florentine museum. The title is Three Graces. Who painted it for 20 points?
Irvington David.
Degas.
New Rochelle Wilhelm.
Caravaggio.
Ever heard the adjective Rubenesque? Well, there's three Rubenesque women. Rubens, the painter. For 15 points, arrange the following four historical figures in chronological order. Henry VIII, Christopher Columbus, Joan of Arc, and Galileo. From earliest to latest, Henry VIII, Columbus, Joan of Arc, and Galileo.
Irvington Key.
Galileo, Henry VIII, Columbus, Joan of Arc.
New Rochelle Gabriel.
Galileo, Columbus, Henry VIII, Joan of Arc.
Now, Keith, you had them in reverse order. Joan of Arc, then Columbus, Henry VIII, and Galileo. 20-point math question. A bullet is fired vertically, and the equation H equals negative 16t squared plus 256t gives the height H of the bullet at time t. Find the height of the bullet after 16 seconds.
New Rochelle Gabriel.
0.
0. The bullet has hit the ground. 20 points. Here's a 15-point question. What 8-letter word is used by biologists in reference to the part of a body or organ opposite the dorsal or posterior extremities?
New Rochelle Missy.
Anterior.
Anterior, right. New Rochelle now trails by only 25 points, and here's a 20-pointer. What's the two-word name used in agriculture for the period from the last killing frost of spring until the first killing frost of autumn?
Irvington Joe.
Growing season.
Growing season. Excellent. Here's a 15-point music question. Name the composer of this American popular song.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits?
Irvington Emily.
Berlin.
Irving Berlin, right. I have a 15-point question. Unable to establish new courses on Western civilization, this Ivy League...
Irvington Emily.
Yale.
Yale is returning a $20 million gift made 4 years ago by a Texas oil magnate. For 20 points, what's the oldest country in all Europe and the oldest republic in the world?
New Rochelle Gabriel.
San Marino.
It is San Marino. Excellent. There's a 15-pointer. Which hit movie of the 1980s featured one of the last appearances of Burt Lancaster?
New Rochelle Missy.
Tough Guys.
Well, that's incorrect. Irvington.
Irvington Joe.
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams is right. One of my all-time favorites. Here's a 15-pointer. Multiple choice of divestiture, gag order, rejoinder, misprision of felony, and peremptory challenge. In jury selection, the dismissal of a potential juror for no particular reason.
Irvington Emily.
Peremptory.
Judge?
Peremptory.
Peremptory challenge is right. Ruled acceptable. I have a 20-point art question. Look at your screen. The three graces are shown again in dancing pose in this portion of Sandro Botticelli's masterpiece. Do you know the title of this painting?
Irvington Key.
Primavera.
La Primavera is right for 20 points. I have a 15-pointer. In The Pearl by John Steinbeck, a father finds a huge pearl with which he intends to pay a doctor for treating his child suffering from a bite by what creature?
2 minutes. Irvington Emily.
Scorpion.
Scorpion, well done, for 15 points. Which of these can you find in the biography section of your library? The Wind in the Willows, The Red and the Black, Light in August, Fear of Flying, or Death Be Not...
New Rochelle Wilhelm.
Fear of Flying.
Or Death Be Not Proud.
Irvington David.
The Red and the Black.
No, Death Be Not Proud. For 20 points, suppose you're a chess knight and your chessboard is the periodic table of the elements. You're standing squarely on phosphorus. Name any one of the 6 elements to which you can legally move.
Gabriel.
Fluorine.
Yes, for 20 points. I have a 20-point music question. The German writer Thomas Mann noted various influences on his work, especially the technique of repeating words and phrases throughout a work. What composer did Mann credit as the originator of the technique of repeating themes of leitmotifs in music?
New Rochelle, Bill Hill.
Wagner.
Wagner is right for another 20. Here's a 20-pointer. In Shakespeare's Macbeth, who speaks the final line?
New Rochelle, Missy.
Macduff.
No, that's a good try. Irvington.
Joe.
Thankful.
Another good guess, it was Malcolm. For 20 points, consider the former Soviet republics. Ukraine is second to Russia in population, which is second to Russia in size.
Irvington, Joe.
Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan is right for 20 points. Super Frost comes through again. There's the tone. The contest is over. We'll check the score and tell you who's going on to the finals in just a moment.
Each day in this world, 5,000 people become infected with HIV, the virus that causes AIDS. Don't become one of them. Use a condom every time you have sex, every time. Don't make it 5,001.
Please support the American Foundation for AIDS Research. This ad has been brought to you by Cable Positive and your local cable operator.
What a match. The score is correct. The game is official. Our final 270 New Rochelle, 370 Irvington. The winners, Irvington High School. Our congratulations to New Rochelle. They finished with a 4-1 record. Outstanding performance, New Rochelle. We look forward to seeing your team in Washington for the National Academic Championship. And Irvington, we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. You'll be facing either Ardsley or Saunders in the finals. That's our contest. Next week, the semifinal match between Ardsley and Saunders. Don't miss it. Chip Beal. So long, everybody.
Uses expensive thoroughbreds to lure